सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। The third verse, it's only a half message he gives. Having cut asunder this firmly rooted Ashwatha tree, how with the strong acts of non-attachment. So which means initial step is to cut the tree. That's the first step. After cutting that, there's something to be done. So that's why it's not a complete message. So the idea continues to the fourth verse also. But before you proceed to the fourth verse, you have to do one job, whatever he is going to ask you to do later. Before that, what you have to do? After cutting this tree, then you have to do something. So step 1, cut the tree. How to cut this Ashwatha tree? He says with this acts of non-attachment. Non-attachment means detachment. Detachment is not indifference. We know only these two things. Either we know attachment or we understand indifference. Neither being attached nor being indifferent is called detachment. So before you proceed to practice detachment or I'm going to get detached, first thing is to understand what is detachment. Which means first you need to understand what is attachment. So non-attachment, if you have to understand, first you need to understand what is attachment. If I have to explain what is attachment, I have to take that entire book, Holocaust of Attachment, and then come back to verse 3. The whole thing is packed. That entire book is this one line. So what Krishna is saying is, after studying Holocaust of Attachment, go to verse number 4. Because it needs so much of explanation. Because the idea of non-attachment is the center, is the base for entire religion is. Without this idea of detachment, there's no religion. There's no spirituality. But tragically, we practice so many things which has nothing to do with renunciation, detachment. Like people go to temple, right? You visit temples. Did you go to those temples for detachment? I visit temples. I have been to Badrinath. Have you been? What is a connection between you going to the temple or you doing the ritual or you are studying the text? Vedanta study is connected to detachment. If that link is not established, then it is not spiritual. Then it is not religion. See, the problem is this. The problem is, how are you linking it? Because that link needs to be established by you. You have to establish it. You have to make a link. There's no fixed links there. You go to the temples, you visit, you do bhajans. Nowadays we see a lot of people attend this bhajan sessions. good. I'm not saying it's not good. But going to bhajan itself is religious. Or attending Vedanta class is religion. Then most people think, okay, no, going to ritual is wrong, temple visit is wrong, bhajan is wrong, but attending Gita classes, correct? Not any Gita class. You should attend only. There we are very clear. Only if you attend my class, it is accepted. Any other class you attend, it's not accepted. Now, how this is linked? What is the link? The link is reduction of desire. That is called detachment. So when he says you get detached, now what causes you to get attached is your ragadvesha, your desires, likes and dislikes. That is what is causing you to get attached. So when he says non-attachment, that means non-desiring tendency. Because your mind carries the tendency to desire. Only thing we do is what? You drop one toy only to pick up another toy. It is just a replacement. Replacement of a toy is not. Because most of us think, oh, I have dropped that toy I have dropped. So you think you have become detached. You see, that's how delusion comes. Deluded. These deluded fellows. Confused. What is the confusion? The confusion is, what is attachment? Then comes how you are getting attached. So, non-attachment means detachment. You have to understand, you need to know you are getting attached. Now you need to understand what is this attachment causes, what is the cause of your attachment? Your likes and dislikes. Because you have not started with a clean slate. Remember, most of us think, a child comes into the world with a clean slate. No child comes into the world clean slate. It has something by it inherently. Naturally it has. Isn't it? That's why you put sugar in the tongue of a child, honey. That's why whenever they go to see a child, they carry sugar, honey and all they used to carry, sweets. Neem oil. If you put neem oil in the tongue of the child, newborn, just 1 month old, it's say, don't try all that, okay? Will it enjoy? Who taught to the child that this is not something which is pleasing? It's not joyous. The neem oil. What are we doing? This is what we do. That's what, it's amazing. You fall for your own creation. It's amazing how these people have conceived this idea. Brahmaji's wife who's? Saraswati, no? Saraswati is the daughter of Brahma, you know that? She is a daughter of Brahma, and Brahma's wife is Saraswati. Looks weird. What? Many people get angry also. I am not saying, boss, it's there in the scriptures. I am not, telling on my own. But our concepts are all very confusing. We immediately equate with your things. See, there is a very significant message they are communicating in that. See, what is Brahman? Brahma means ignorance. Brahma is not knowledgeable person. He is considered as ignorant. It is ignorance. Out of ignorance, what happens? Out of your own desires, out of your own vasanas, you create something and then you fall in love with that. And then that becomes your boss. It's fascinating. You created that. And then you fall in love with that same thing. That's called ignorance. Ignorance is what? How you get. That's why he says, with knowledge alone you will be able to get over. What knowledge you have to gain? You have to get detached with the strong acts of non-attachment. How is that your non-attachment is going to get the solidarity to it, strength to it? From where it borrows that strength? That strength is borrowed from knowledge, understanding, Viveka Shakti. Now that's what is represented. This idea is represented as Brahma marrying Saraswati. Like we see, Krishna, also you would have seen in the pictures, the leaf, child Krishna, sucking his toe. You seen that? Krishna sucking his toe. What are you enjoying? Like it's nothing to do with only Krishna does that. Every child does. There's nothing to do with Krishna, please. Oh, Krishna is the only fellow. Krishna was stealing butter. Every child steals. You have not stolen. Means you have never lived your life. No, sir, I have never, stole anything. That means, I've never lied. Never bunked the school. If you have not done those things, I don't know, then what did you do there? A child is supposed to do what? He's supposed to steal. Oh, weird fellow Krishna is. When this, Indra had a, fury with these people because they didn't worship him. Instead of worshipping Indra, he said, you worship the mountain. Govardhan Giri is the one which is giving us the whole thing. Instead of worshipping this, you are worshipping that fellow, Indra, who you don't know. And Indra got so annoyed. Oh, he started a downpour. And what did he do? Not a big deal. All that you have to do is what? I'll simply lift the Govardhan Giri and all of you come and take shelter under that. How he lifted? With his little finger. With his little finger, the fellow is holding that entire Giri. The entire mountain he was holding with his little finger. That much power he has. Right? When he wants to steal butter, what did he do? Krishna Leela. What did he do? Call the friends and make a ladder, and then everybody, and then he has to climb up all those fellows, and then he eats a little, and then he gives to those fellows. Which is easier? Huh? To lift the mountain, you need, people to support. Where it's needed, the fellow is not taking. Where it is absolutely not required. These are all, indications where you should pause and think. The problem we have is you think, but whole thinking is perversion only. If at all you think. If at all there is any thinking, it is only perverted. That's why when we read, Brahma's daughter is Saraswati, Brahma's wife is Saraswati. When you read, how can a man? Now immediately you bring you position yourself there. You see that? That's not the way to study the Shastras. See, it's not a movie. You watch Superman, like this Bruce Lee movie and all, See, the fellow who watches Bruce Lee movies, for 1 week, don't talk to that fellow. Don't have any fights with him. Because you see that, the way they walk out itself will look like Bahubali. You watch Bahubali, you think what? Unfortunately, nobody considers them to be that one of that character standing there. If he is a man watching that movie, he thinks himself as Bahubali. Women, Anushka, what's her name? I forgot her name. In the movie character name. This is the proof. Why? Every time I watch that Bahubali movie, what is that? Identification is with who? Only with Bahubali, that's all. I cannot identify myself with the heroine. Impossible. If I am in love, I may think that person to be my. When I am not married. After marriage, that's also gone. You will not think your wife is like that. No. That will never come. When you are reading the scriptures, be careful first. First requirement is do not bring in your personalities. Don't equate with your human weaknesses. Human tendencies. Human tendencies you want to study, then you will misunderstand it completely. What is the message he is giving? Now, what are we doing in our life is you fall in love with what you have created. You have created this samsara, you have created the world, and you have got stuck into that world. And then now you keep saying what? I don't know how to get out of it, how to get out of it. That's what that Krishna sucking his own toe. And you're getting a pleasure out of it. And the child will do it. Child genuinely feels that, genuinely thinks like that. That's what he gives first. He says, first get into this non-attachment. If you have to get this non-attached, first you need to understand how you are getting attached. How that attachment comes. From where that attachment comes. Attachment is what? Attachment is nothing but your belief. You believe that something from the world is going to give you happiness. Full stop. If you believe something from the world is going to give you security, something from the world that is going to give you fulfillment, something from the world that is going to give you joy, satisfaction, contentment. So long as you believe something of the world is going to give you, obviously you will get involved. Obviously you will get attached to that. Now the question we ask here is this: How the world is created, that's why he started from Samsara Varnana. How the world is created. It's created by your own thing. You created it. You created the world, and then you say, I am getting attached to the world. I am wedded to it, sir. A lot of people say, I am wedded to. What you are wedded to? What is that you value? Because for most of us, non-attachment means what? Detachment means ripping yourself out. You see, getting out. That's not bliss. Running away is not. Then what is it? Moving from your current level is called detachment. Every one of us have got our own levels. From wherever you are, you move above. From wherever you are, you fall below. That's called indifference. Right? In life, what you are doing, in life only one option you have. Either move upwards or move downwards. There's no other option we have. But you have to keep moving. And the movement is of two. Either upwards or downwards, or inwards or outwards. That inward movement in the language is equal to upward movement. Religion will say upward movement. Today, we are not comfortable with the word upward, downward, and all those things. Therefore, we have invented a new word. What is it? Inward and outward. Inward journey. What is that inward journey? Nobody knows. But journey. Outward journey means what? So today we are very comfortable with it. Like, about 20 years back, when I started attending these Vedanta classes and all that, first word we use to refer to intellect is the discriminative capacity. That which discriminates. That is called intellect. There was no problem. Everywhere we are using it. Whoever we meet, we have been using that term. But today, 92, 93, I never heard anyone having this issue with the word discrimination. But today, the word discrimination has an issue. You see. So therefore, what we need to do, we have to change the term now. We need to create a new word to refer to intellect. You see. So what we have to say, discerning ability, discriminative ability, and now we say what? Discerning ability. No, yeah, fine. I need to create a new word for that. That's why we started using these words, you see. That's why all the scriptures were written in the Sanskrit language. Why the whole thing was written in Sanskrit language? Why we say that's the source. All the source subjects written in Sanskrit. Why? Does it mean they don't know other languages?
Clarity.
What clarity?
Defines the meaning.
One word. This is the meaning, 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 this is the meaning. There's no change there. You cannot change it. It's fixed. That's why it is called Sanskrit. In English, we call it as Sanskrit. There's no word called Sanskrit. It's called Sanskrit. You see, Sanskrit means well constructed. Well constructed, that is. Thoughtfully constructed language. For what? When you are constructing something very carefully, it is constructed for what? To communicate. To communicate what? Yes.
Thoughts.
They want to communicate. Communicate what?
Thoughts. Ideas.
Thoughts belonging to? Ideas belonging to? Huh?
Beyond transcendental idea. So you need
Transcendental
a-
idea. Right. Correct. Then? The language Sanskrit is conceived or well compiled language is to communicate a particular subject. You don't need Sanskrit language to communicate history. Astrology can be, astronomy can be communicated, medicine can be communicated with any language. There's no problem. You see, other languages, other subjects are not. But when it comes to the core idea of dharma and moksha, you need a well defined. If it keeps on changing, let's say, every 10 years, if it keeps changing, what will happen? Like discrimination to discernment. You can never have clarity then. See, the subjects were defined like that. That's why I always recommend people to be studying the Moola Grantha. Like Swamiji said, after writing VT, my job is done. I said, VT, one book is enough. Vedanta treatise is enough. That's it. There's nothing beyond. After writing Vedanta treatise, only he wrote commentaries for all the things. Another 8 books were written after that. Now, why you have to write a commentary on that? For what? Ideal is to go through this. Because if that is not done, people will never come to the original source. The source from where entire Vedanta treatise was conceived, compiled. All that idea you have in this Vedanta treatise is taken from where? From here. You have to come to the source. From there, you have to bring people to the source here. That knowledge, the understanding has to be there. That's why we keep on defining terms. Why every time we have anywhere we go, any discussions we go, first thing is we say, define the word first. Without defining the word, don't talk. What is meant by? What is the meaning of the word freedom? Define it. After defining the word freedom, let's sit for a conversation. All the debates you go through, anywhere you go, everywhere people will use, he will assume the word freedom in one way, another party assumes the word freedom in another way, and then there's a communication. Wow. How can there be a communication? There can only be argument. The moment you define terms, what is it? That's why we spend so much of time. Because what is the meaning of the word? Asanga. Asanga you have to understand. First you have to understand Sangha. From Sangha only you have to go to Asanga. So Sangha is what? Attachment. Asanga means non-attachment. So how are you to understand the word attachment now? What is the meaning of the word attachment? Then comes how you get attached. Then only you will be able to do the contrary to that, opposite of that. When you do that opposite to whatever you do to get attached, you are moving towards detachment. You are all with me? Otherwise, how will you understand? Otherwise, you say get detached. Get detached means what to do? How to get detached? Nobody asks how to get attached. Have you ever asked how to get attached? How did you get attached to your child? Huh? How you get attached? So anything for you to get attached, there is a condition, an important condition is there. What is the condition? You will get attached to, right? You get attached to the child. When do you get attached to the child? I'm not talking about appreciating a child. Yeah, very cute, no. In the restaurant you see a child, it's very cute, no. You don't get attached to the child. It's cute, and then you walk out. And highest thing you will do is what?
Give it off.
Huh? You go and pluck the cheek and make the child cry and go. That's all it is. So, chubby cheeks, and you pinch. And it cries. So cute, no, when it cries. Yeah. You say it is cute, but what is the parent saying? They feel it as embarrassment. Huh? This is a child eating ice cream, all over the face. How are you supposed to eat? You are supposed to eat. Maximum should be all over the face. Minimum inside the mouth. That's why you are supposed to eat mango. A child will eat mango like that. When you look at it, it looks very cute. But for the parents, it is what? It's embarrassment. Say, that's not the way it should be. This is not correct. Neighbor child is having less marks. You give advice. Academics is not everything. Tell that to your child, no? What happens there? Why is it that you get attached to this? Child is a child only, no? Right? How is it that you are getting attached here, you are not getting attached there?
Belongingness.
Huh?
Belongingness.
Mine. It belongs to me. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. Wherever you include this mineness, there will be attachment. Correct? Yes, sir. All your attachment is what? Mineness. Is it true? Is it true? As you walk, somebody throws the dirt. It falls on your shadow. What happens to you? Huh? You don't even register, right? Whose shadow? My shadow. Correct? In my shadow, somebody comes and stands on the head of the shadow, walks over shadow. What happens to you? Do you get angry? Do you get upset? No. 2 minutes before, what did we say? 2 minutes before, we said, anything that is mine, I will get attached. Anything get attached now, whatever happens there gets affected to me. That's understood. Right? Huh? Now, an insult to the child becomes my insult. A disappointment to the child becomes my disappointment. Anything that happens to the child happens to me. Now, I give another example. My shadow is insulted by this fellow. He spits. There. Shadow. Whose shadow? My shadow. What happens? Nothing happens. How is it that when something is done to my shadow, not affected, whereas my child affected? What is the difference? This is called Viveka. You see that? Viveka, na? Both I call as mine. That is also mine, this is also mine. Wherever there is mineness, I will get attached. Now, why is it that this affects me, this is not affecting me? Which means, along with mineness, there is something else is also added to it. Something is also there. If it is purely minus, then if you spit on my shadow, I should get angry. I should get upset. You praise my shadow, I should get excited. Wow. You garland my shadow, I should get the joy. Which happens when my child is celebrated, appreciated, I get the joy. When my child is appreciated, I am getting a joy. When my shadow is appreciated, what happens there? What is the difference? This is also mine, that's also mine. That's called attached life and non-attachment. Non-attachment means treating the whole thing as all that is mine is treated like shadow. Non-attachment. Attachment means your own creation you fall in love with. Now Saraswati. Brahma marrying Saraswati, or Vishnu, Krishna sucking his toe. Get to this non-attachment first. Understand the subtleties of life. Then you can come to the application of this idea. How actually I am getting attached? How that attachment happens? Is non-attachment means non-experience? Anything you experience, will you get attached? No. Only to few experiences you get attached. What are the few experiences or few people or few objects you get attached to? Some areas you get attached, some areas you don't get attached. Where you get attached, where you don't get attached. What did you do here differently to get attached? What were you doing? This is where Krishna comes in the Gita. Says, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha. What did you do? Linger. You just linger over that particular object, linger over that particular experience when you go on lingering. Which means what? That experience is over. The past experience has complete, it's over. Which means what? The next experience has come. Right? For you to experience something, you need to keep that mind available for that experience to happen. If the mind is not available, the experience is not complete. Experience is not possible. Right? Now, when you are lingering, where is your mind?
The past experience.
In the past experience. Where are you? You are in the new experience. You are in the next experience. But your mind is still in the past experience. That past experience is what? It's just your memory. That's not reality. That's just your memory, your imagination, your visual. Right? Which means you are not available for the present experience. The present experience goes
Unregistered.
not zero registered. If it is absolutely unregistered, no problem. The problem here is what? There is a partial registration. Right? When that experience is partial, what happens to that experience? Anything which is incomplete will hang. Remember, anything incomplete will hang. Imagine, halfway cooking you have come for the class. Halfway you are writing and suddenly you have, oh, class is come and sit here. What happens? A part of your mind is where? Still. Whenever I am giving a pause or whenever I speak about something which you believe you have already heard, what will you do? Like a classic example I give is this. God works like petrol in the car. What happens to you in the lectures? Was Swamiji telling me this? I understood, huh? Sometimes, almost like, like a tape recorder, he will speak. He would speak like, tape recorder. Half the time, what happens to most of us is what? Or some story he gives. The moment he gives the moment he starts, we know where he is going. What is going to be? Now he says, can you listen attentively there? When I am explaining something which you have not heard, something which you have not understood, there your attentiveness will always be there. Why? Because it is new. You will never understand how your mind is duping you. You think, I don't know how to speak, he says. I asked him something. Some stupid thing, I asked. Not in the class, just casually when you are walking, jogging track. Sometimes சொன்னதையே திருப்பி திருப்பி சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கீங்க. Repeating the same thing, Swamiji said. I was stunned actually. He said, yeah, correct, no. That's not teaching. Teaching is not, this is entertainment. That's why I say this is classes. Every class you are speaking differently. You think I am great. That means what? You are not a teacher. You see that? You are a tutor. You are not a teacher. A teacher is one who will do that. Every class is speaking differently. Yes. Is still growing. That way is okay. But then, you are not qualified teacher. A guru, this is the guru. Yes. I was shocked actually when I heard this. When I speak that, what happens to your mind? Do you still maintain that same intensity of attention, focus, or you relax? I ask him, what to do after that? Okay, I am not there. Now what to do now? Then it is a different equations. But then, when does your mind take a chakkar? When you get attached, when you doing it is when you are experiencing something which is not new. That's what we call as mechanical living. Mechanical means what? Repetition. Same thing, again and again and again you do. When you do things in the repeated manner, what happens? You develop a sort of expertise, a skill. Which means what? Which means action will continue more or less perfectly without my conscious attention. Without me consciously sitting and focusing, action will continue. Which means my mind is not required for me to be in the action, in the present. If my mind is not required to be in the present, where is the mind going to be? If the action is not going to continue, then the mind will come to attention. Without this mind's participation, without my effort, without my conscious focus, action can continue without any loss. If it is possible, will my mind stay behind that even then? Whether you are there or not, things are going to happen. Whether you teach Vedanta, you don't teach Vedanta, Vedanta will grow. What inspiration you will have to teach Vedanta? Imagine your family were to say, whether you are there or not, doesn't make any difference. Even if you die, we will be normal only. Of course, we will miss. When you are making coffee, we will miss one more class. No? Oh, he's not there. No? Okay, keep aside. Maximum will be that. Nothing more than that. None of us are going to miss. If that family were to say, what sort of a commitment that man will have to provide for that family? Whether you are there or not doesn't make any difference. Company will run. If you resign from the company, does it mean company is going to shut down? No. Correct? If you are not there, what is going to happen? Premji Foundation will close down. Nothing is going to happen. That philosophy has led to what now? This idea has led today what? What they call iteration.
Attrition.
Sorry?
Attrition.
Attrition. What is this, sir? Previous generation, people would join a company, retire from the company. Today, if that fellow has to be working in that same company for 5 years, means what? Something wrong. So every company says what? We don't know. Why? That loyalty is gone completely. Why? So they replace that with what? With family. Look here, if you are not there, therefore your allegiance, your loyalty, this what they call this? Work-life balance. Work-life balance, all teachers say this. Even if you are not there, company will run. Next day, you will find that seat has been occupied by another person. What about your wife? What about your son? Next day, will there be a father for him? People can come and say, what? Take me like your father, that's all, maximum. But father is irreplaceable. Only then you can have your commitment to your family. Without you, family cannot run. Without you, organization cannot run. Without you, a team will not be able to perform. Only then you find yourself committing to that group. Whether you are there or not, whether you contribute or not, whether you work or not, nothing is going to make any difference there. Na? What is your level of commitment? That's why government employees don't have any commitment. Why?
No incentives.
Even if you do work also, doesn't make any difference. Whether you don't do work also, what? Nothing can be done. Maximum is what? One memo they will issue. They can't sack you. What to do now? Court order. Court order also will not follow. What are you saying? Dismiss my government. If you dismiss my government, what happens? Next election has to happen. In the election, I will come. Sympathy vote will come. I will come back to power again. Again, what I am going to do? You will give order. Again, I am going to say what? I will not follow. What now? What is going to be the where you are going to? Your mind will come into picture only if it is valued. If it is not valued, if it is not recognized, it says what? I am not needed, I can do whatever I want. Most of our life, it is regular activities of yours, regular work of yours. What the mind does is it starts creating an expertise. In the initial stages of taking classes, there will be fear. Now what is it? All that I have to do is what? Simply come, sit, open the book and say, okay, what is the verse today? Oh, having cut asunder this firmly rooted Ashwatha tree, strong acts of non-attachment. 1 hour. You give me more time, I will go on and on and on. Never move to the next verse. It's possible. But you think there is concentration. Is this concentration? You have developed a skill to talk. How good your talk is a different equation. How good that skill is a different equation. But the moment you have developed a skill, in that field where you have developed a skill, when you are operating, your mind's presence is not a must for you to perform the action. When it is not a must, where the mind is going to be?
Past experience.
It will go wherever it is happy, wherever, whatever is liked by it, or whatever it dislikes. How can he say that? How did he do that to me? What did this happen? Why? What? This fellow, last week, one fellow called. 1.5 hours the fellow spoke. She got really annoyed with me. He said, cut the call now, idiot. Yes. Because I kept it on the speaker phone. I was doing my work and then listening. This is crap, what to do. I was just listening to it. Just cut the call. He said, useless fellow. 1.5 hours he is talking. And he is quoting, that Swami has praised me like this. Here I have given this talk, and that Swami. All the Swamis who I value, all those people. Everything, I have given lecture there, I have given lecture here, I have been appreciated by this person. Only thing he didn't tell me is Modi is, is my student. Except that he has told everyone. Amazing fellow. If you listen to me, all that he says, and then you know what he says. In 6th standard, sir, my maths teacher hit me because I solved this mathematical problem in a new way. Ramanujam, huh? You think yourself to be Ramanujam or what? You know that, no? Ramanujam's maths teacher. Usually they take 7 steps. This fellow finished it in 2 steps. So he thought he is cheating. Why do you have to go roundabout, man? This is easier way of solving it. Maths teacher didn't understand, so he gave him 0. That's all it is. Now this will also think, I am also one of the Ramanujam. Weird fellow. Still he is talking. And he says, he is being advised by these people to do Nididhyasana. I said, you need to treat yourself first. Nididhyasana, where you go to Nididhyasana? I told him, you are yet to start your spiritual journey. Forget it, I said. You are my guru. I said, guru will not give advice over phone. Cut the call, I said. You honor me, you come over, we'll talk. But the fellow's on, sincerity you should appreciate. He said, I will not call you, sir. I will come and meet you. He has not called after that. So, poor fellow. Not angry. A fellow, sincere guy. But then, what? This, still, the mind is still lingering where? What he hates. What he dislikes. How can that happen to me? Why did he do that to me? When I solved it in another method, why can't that maths teacher understand there are 2 ways of solving a problem? 2 ways to solve the problem. Those things you do in PhD, not in 2nd standard. 2nd standard you can't do all that. 2nd standard, this is how you are supposed to do, this is how you are supposed to do. Full stop. In PhD you can do whatever you want. Here you do that now. Your mind lingers. It never stays in the present. How do you do that then? Then how do you manage? Understand the steps. Then how do you manage, sir? Management is very simple now. What is that? The past experience, once that experience is completed, the movement to the next experience has to be how? Well thought of, well determined experience. When your next experience is not well thought, well determined experience, decisive experience, not a routine mechanical experience. When it is a decisive experience of yours, mind will stay behind it. That's why in the academy, you would say any problem anybody asks, goes and asks him, you'll say immediately, follow the schedule. Sarvaroha Nivarani, that is. Any problem you have, I have problem with this, I have problem with that, I have problem. Any problem we talk to him, he'll say, follow the schedule. Follow the schedule, follow the schedule. What is that? It is well determined, a thought of, well conceived. You go to the next experience, your mind will stay in the present. The problem we have is we just go through the experiences as it comes in a most mechanical manner. Here it goes, next. And more and more of variety comes. What happens to the mind? It gets excited with that new experience and then dismisses. Excited with the new experience, dismiss. Excited with the new experience, dismiss. There, you think you are concentrating. You are not concentrating, please. You are not focusing. That's why after the Gita chapter, every time we finish the Gita chapter, what is the first thing we do? We read the first verse again. Which means what? You don't go through different texts. I've completed the text. Now go to the next text. Now go to the next text. It's not that you go to different texts, please. It is going through that same text again and again with concentration. It's not new things. New things are very simple. Mind will automatically stay there. Why? Because it is fresh. It's new. That's not the way to handle your lingering. Then how do you do? What you do with the lingering, sir? One, stop the mind reliving mentally the past experience of yours, number one. Second one is that the next experience should be a well-determined experience. When you do that, what happens? Your attachment intensity starts reducing. After that intensity of your attachments gets reduced, which is what he calls as non-attachment, the strength of the non-attachment is directly linked to the strength of your effort. The effort of not lingering in the past and the effort to move to the next experience in a well-determined manner, willful manner, with effort. Thus, when you do, what happens? Automatically, your lingering stops. Lingering reduces. Over a period of time, you will not have time to linger. After a point, it may look like, you are doing the same thing. But any time you call me, I'll say, I'm very busy. What are you doing? Same thing. Same thing you will do. But then, you will be so occupied, thereby no time or energy left in you to be preoccupied. A mind that is, because the moment you live your life in a more routine manner, you know what is next. The moment you know what is next, you're relaxed. To know that what is going to be the next thought and still maintain that alertness comes much later. You don't start with it. Verse 4, that is. But starting point is what? Go through that next experience in a conscious, deliberated manner. Sorry?
Well-determined thought.
Thoughtful experience. What you are doing, why you are doing what you are moving. From this experience, I am moving to the next experience. For what? What is the driving force? Is the driving force my weakness, my desire, or the goal? That's called determined. Next experience is determined. Connected to what? Fixed. Well thought of. Thought of with reference to? Is the weakness of my desire driving me, or the vision of the goal? What is driving force? That clarity. Not that it has to be goal driven. If it is desire driven, you are well prepared and so clear that it is my weakness that I am doing it. So the moment you go into it as a weakness, it is my weakness I am getting into the relationship. After that, what do you expect from the other party? Beggars cannot be choosers. Period. I am a beggar carrying the begging bowl in the relationship. Therefore, whatever the fellow puts, I have to take and walk out. I can't command anything there. I can't demand anything there. If it is goal driven, the whole equation is different. If it is weakness driven, what are you there? You are standing as a beggar. That's it. So how do you get over these two things when you practice? What will happen? Slowly your attachment will go. That's what he calls by cutting the tree. Chop off the branches, chop off the branches. And then finally you do, only trunk will be standing. Only when the trunk is standing, what to do? Now you have to use a different axe. Next step is that. Beautiful way he develops the next idea. Next class we'll see. Definitely.
Sir, one thing, sir, this relating the non-attachment and the shadow, you're talking about the shadow, like you don't give importance to that. So, how is it when you connected it by about?
You say, anything which is mine, I will get attached. Right? My child, I get attached. My car, I get attached. My thing, my house, I get attached. My this, I get. My shadow, whatever happens to the shadow, nothing happens to me. Now, how is it that my shadow, I am not getting affected? My child, my car, this one, I get attached, I suffer. So, which is samsara? Shadow is not my samsara at all, actually speaking. But both are mine only. Which means there is a difference between this mindness and this mindness. That's your homework. I don't know, whatever it is. This is also mine, that's also mine. But this mindness is not becoming part of my samsara. This mindness becomes a problem. Why is it this mindness causes problem? How is it that this mindness is not causing any problem? If you know the difference, you will understand how to get detached. This is one line of thinking. Right? I'm just giving you different, as the idea comes, I just, build it. So one way of getting detached, what? Process attachment. How do you process? One way of processing is this. Another way of processing is moving from one experience to another experience to another experience. What do we do? Another idea. Right? Two different angles.
For the first one, I value my car, I value my home. That's all.
I'll allow your answers. I am not bothered about your answer. I said homework. Both are mine. One mindness causes problem, another mindness is not causing problem, which means mindness by itself is not the real problem. There is something more than that. Something also there inside. Inside that mindness, there is something. So then you will be able to resolve the issue. Otherwise, generally you'll say mindness, I know I should not have, there should not be mine. Then what do you have to do? You, my car. What to do my car? Give it to me. My house, the register office will go. The car also I can take and go. You don't need to be transferring the name. But house Allah not possible. So what to do now? I have so much of money I have. What to do? Give it to me. I can take it. That will become my problem now. That is your work. You need to do that. Answer, don't worry. Stay with the question first. Stay with the question for a period of time. Then move to the answer.
One thought you told, while reading scriptures, don't bring in human tendencies. Can you elaborate?
Something I said, I don't know what I was saying. No, I was referring, what I was saying?
Your personality.
Don't position yourself there.
Yeah, that's, when you read this, when you hear, Brahma's daughter, Saraswati, Brahma's wife, Saraswati, which means what? Brahma married his daughter. How can you marry your daughter? This rule is for whom? Humans, no. Among cousins in India, we don't marry. This is my cousin, he'll marry. Not allowed. Because it is brother-sister relationship here. But there are cultures where they marry. Now, who is right and who is wrong now? Confusion only. You see, for you it is correct, for him it is correct. So what? Okay, then this will not lead you to understanding what is the message communicated. What is the message communicated there? You fall in love with, you get attached, you get wedded to your own creation. You create it and you get involved. How stupid that is. It's madness. That is a message. Can that message be derived by any one of this analysis? This reasoning will never lead you to that. That is why we say when you are reading a scripture, don't bring in human equations per se. See, that doesn't mean there is no human equation at all there. It is human only. But then don't start from here. Go there and then come back. After understanding that philosophy, after understanding the principle, you come to your own creation. You created a relationship, you established a relationship in a particular way, and then you get attached. You create it and then get attached. You create it and then get attached. That is the message. Now, we can understand it. If you analyze only this, you will never be able to understand what is the equation there. You see, first from here, go to the principle. From principle, you come back to you. From here, directly you come, you will be lost. You see that?